Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Sapphire Sessions. Today, I'm joined by John and Javen Johnson, who are son of John here from Castlegar, BC. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Sapphire.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'd like to start, John, at the beginning of your musical journey. What was your intro into musician life?
Oh, I'd have to say maybe having to sing songs at church way back, but maybe more like when I got to the Kootenays, I ran into some brother-in-laws that were songwriters, and that kind of started my musical journey then, I would say.
And that was with the Nerve.
That was
You
with
guys
the
were
Nerve, yeah.
Cool. Back
in the early 90s, yeah.
Yeah. And church, you went to church all through your childhood?
Yeah, I tried to be a good boy. Well, I did, and it was, church has, there's a lot of music in church, so, there was hymns that kind of grabbed you, and I thought, boy, they sound good.
When did you start adding your own instruments? When you started playing with your brother-in-laws?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, then started with guitar and harmonica, and
Well, you kind of started writing songs when we were just babies.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Past the time.
The early 90s.
Yeah, stay-at-home dad.
Do you remember there being kind of like a defining moment when you realized that Javen was also going to be a musician?
Oh yeah, he sang all the time. He would sing in his what do you call it? Crib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but I was told.
And he was always humming and singing, and yeah. So
My mom put me into classical violin lessons when I was 4 years old.
Okay, wow.
So here in Nelson, I didn't have a choice at the time. I was before kindergarten, but I guess she had some vision at some point that her firstborn child would be a musician. So she threw me into classical violin lessons, and then I ended up taking classical violin lessons for 15 years.
Wow, okay.
Here in Nelson.
Well, that explains.
Yeah.
That explains it.
Yeah, I did lots of performances in the Capitol Theater and every church in town, with my sonatas and concertos and stuff, and I started playing fiddle with my dad. Once his solo projects kind of started after his band days, he started doing like when I was about 12, he brought me into the studio for the first time.
Wow.
And I played on one of his albums when I remember distinctly being 11 or 12 years old in the studio playing a little fiddle lick
Wow.
on one of his first albums.
Yeah.
And then his second solo album, which I was quite a few years later, was able to actually play more fiddle on, and then actually start playing on stage with him. We were always playing music together since I was tiny, could accompany him with my violin, but again, it was probably around 2016 or 17 when he had his last solo album that I came on stage with him and started playing fiddle as part of the band. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So you grew up like right in the thick of it all, eh?
Yeah, I had a music educator mom and then a musician dad, so I was thrown into a very musical household. So
Yeah.
I feel pretty lucky about that. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So your brother-in-laws are also musicians.
they
Does the musicality aside from church span to the greater family?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, so as brother-in-laws, we would get together and write songs, and we formed a band, and it was just one of those things, that we kind of were into, and
I remember going to some of the gigs, at least the Midnight Harvester band, it was called, with just two of your brother-in-laws.
yeah. But prior to that, the Nerve, for some reason, we caught we were a little bit. It was a little bit different type of music, but CBC really liked it, so they asked us on. Oh, I suppose you would compare it to the show Current now.
Okay.
It was called Morningside, and if you're as old as me, you remember Morningside with Peter Zowski, and he was kind of a Canadian legend, and so that was kind of a big break for us. And we played a lot of big music festivals, and so it sort of
Merritt Mountain with Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
And with,
yeah. So
same stage as Johnny Cash.
kind of got thrown into the main stage, yeah.
Wow, awesome.
But Merle Haggard was at another one. That was pretty interesting to see these old legends,
Yeah.
and to be able to play with them on the same, get on the big stage. Because we didn't really know what we're doing, we're walking on there with stage, and they're grabbing our instruments as you can't carry your instruments on the stage, And so that was pretty, and that got kind of addicting, because once you get that
As it
taste of
does.
that, you keep wanting to play, and you keep
Yeah, no
wanting to
doubt.
kind of write songs and, record songs. And so it was really fun what we did today. Yeah, doing the live.
Now you're rambling a bit.
Well, now I'm rambling, but I'm a good rambler. Well, I
Very good
shouldn't-
rambler. When did you move to the Kootenays?
It was the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it about this area that drew you
Well,
to it?
I took my wife to Saskatchewan, and she says, well, I can't live there. It was a bit of a drought, and she said, geez, So
Yeah.
she had just graduated from university. I had just graduated, and I had a farm in Saskatchewan, and
My mom's from here.
and we ended
Okay.
up we ended up moving back to where she lived in the Kootenays, and
So you met her here?
I met her at university in Lethbridge.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, where I played hockey and sort of went to school. But yeah,
My mom's side of the family is all from the Kootenays.
they're from
Sweet.
so-
Where in the Kootenays?
Nelson,
Yeah.
Grand Forks. My mom's from Grand Forks. My mom's dad's from Nelson, Doukhobors. I don't know if you've, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Spirit wrestlers. Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about your history with the Lutheran Church, and I remember you telling me that runs a little bit in the history of your family.
Yeah.
What is the connection to this specific church here?
Yeah, well, when our kids were young and we moved to this, well, we didn't have kids when we moved, but, soon after we did. And so we put them in Sunday school here. I figured, that's my roots. I bet the kids better get trained properly, So, yeah, we've been sort of part of this congregation and in this church since then.
There used to be an older church here.
Yeah, I remember you saying
Yeah,
that.
growing up, it was a totally different
Yeah.
church. So this is,
It's been
this is a new building.
yeah.
Yeah, the rebuilding of this happened in like the last decade, right?
Yeah.
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 Cool. And you did some work.
Did
of the
some work
woodwork
on it.
eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
it's
some work
beautiful.
on it. Thanks.
So John, maybe you can speak on this a little more, though Javen, I think you can probably speak on this too. What have you noticed are maybe some of the changes in the music scene of the area over all your years of playing here?
Oh yeah, my goodness. Yeah, hard to believe that. I mean, I guess time moves on, and I'm not young anymore. But like when we did our first album, their CDs were like, wow, if you did a CD, you were serious, and so yeah, there was only a few, in the early '90s in this area. So that was a big deal, and then physical albums were still the thing to make, and you sold them at your live shows, which ironically has kind of come full circle because, now anybody can get music in a second, and just boom, it's there. So that's the big change, is that, yeah, music is so accessible and easy to get. Whereas when we first started, it was a process. Yeah.
What about some of the physical changes? Like I remember when we were doing some recording for Victor, you were telling me about Queens that used to be in town.
Oh yeah. Well, locally, like in the bars in Nelson, there was a bar called the Queens down on Baker Street, and it was huge, and all the bars were.
Isn't that the Royal?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. The Royal's still there. The Royal used to be a country bar when I first moved here. It was a full-on country bar. Stage was in a different area, and then the Findlays, which that used to be called the Zoo. It was a Civic. Yeah, it was a real blues. Like, well, it still sort of has that blues influence, but it was not fixed up like it was now. It was a bit of a,
little more divey.
Yeah, raunchy kind of, but a fun place to go and be. So yeah, things have changed in that way too.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about in Castlegar? Have you guys noticed much change in the venues there?
Well, there used to be an old country bar there called Banjo's, which was kind of the, your regular country bar as well.
That probably would have been one of the first places we debuted Son of John. Probably was Banjos.
Did we?
Just like an open mic or something. You and I were playing original songs
We did?
together. I think so.
Oh,
Is it a decade ago
I
though?
might have
But
forgot that one.
Banjos was one of the only places in Castlegar you could play live
Right.
music
Okay.
at.
What is it now?
It got turned into a brewery. Now it's actually sitting idle.
I think live music, there was a period where there was almost nowhere to play live music. Nelson, I think, has always been good because of the music school.
Yeah.
Sapphire College has always promoted performance and venues.
Yeah.
But it's often hard to find places, like especially when we're trying to plan a tour in the interior of BC or
Well,
even trying to find a place in Vancouver at the right size room or the right size venue has always been so hard. We're probably in the 90s, like that was, people could still kind of make a living as a touring musician.
Yeah.
playing all the time.
Late 80s. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Would have been, or what are, or have been, some of your favorite venues to play in the area? Either Nelson or Castlegar or the Greater Kootenays.
Well, it's always nice to play at the. We've done a couple of shows at the Capitol, and we've done shows at the Baileys and Trail, which is a great
the soft
venue.
seat venues are great because people are listening.
Yeah,
right?
and then we had, a couple of years ago we had a great opportunity to open for an old country band called the Bellmany Brothers. Which
I remember you telling me about that,
yeah,
actually.
they're like
They're
class-
big in the 70s.
Okay.
But they sold out every show, and we opened for them, and they played all the nice soft venues like
Yeah, we did Key City and Cranbrook and then Venables and Oliver.
yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
So all those theaters, they're always fun to play with, like Revelstoke Performing Arts, like that's always fun to play in those and soft. Big
Our favorite venue to play in town though is the Royal. I think it's the nicest stage in Nelson.
Well, Capitol, I think is.
Well, I just meant as far as like bar venues,
Oh,
type,
well,
like
yeah,
music
sure.
venues go that aren't soft seat.
Yeah, the Royal's always good.
We've played there a handful of times, and last time we had a really good crowd. So, shout out to Mark, I guess, for that.
Yeah,
Totally.
Mark keeps
yeah,
it going.
he's got a good thing going
Yeah.
there, hey? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Royal, actually, I remember when we did the Songwriters Circle at the Royal.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know which song maybe you were referencing, but you mentioned that often you'll kind of go about your life just collecting phrases and words and kind of like tucking them in your back pocket
Yeah,
for
yeah.
inspiration later.
Yeah.
What do you kind of pair that with for your songwriting process? What is some of the other tools you use?
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, that's a big one for me. That always come up. There's something that'll come up like a line or something, but then, you have to kind of follow through. So, and I don't know where that process comes from for me. I got to be honest. I really don't.
Sometimes your inspiration for the line of the song has nothing to do.
No,
with the song.
no, it doesn't. But
Funny how that happens,
but it
right?
takes me on a journey. Like I usually need that little, and then the tune just usually comes.
Well, even like that song we did, the Big Country Star, you said the initial inspiration stemmed from having a conversation with a guy who said he was
Yeah.
closer to 60 than he was to 50, and that was
Yeah.
the opening line of the song, and then you took it from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, everybody has a different songwriting process for sure, which I'm sure you can say as well. But yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know where it comes from really.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't.
No.
Yeah. What about you?
I think I'm always looking for like song titles maybe or something to kind of
Interesting.
like, if I hear a turn of a phrase or something, I'd be like, well, how can you spin that into a
Yeah.
song? Or yeah, just kind of like an interesting phrase. So song title is kind of sometimes where I start. But I'm also a melody person. Like more often than not, when I'm writing a song, a melody will pop into my head first, and then I'll like start just mumbling syllables, and then eventually sometimes those syllables will stick and it will come up, it'll turn into a lyric or something else. So
Yeah.
One time, there's about 17 people in the waiting room, and everyone is looking at their phone like this. It's just like, okay, well that's kind of. So I came up with this concept of everybody needs a device, to get through this crazy life. It's just, So,
what song was that?
huh?
What song is that?
Device.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know the one? The one I threw at you when we were playing at the Calgary.
Yeah, you just, yeah.
Yeah. I often do that with.
Yeah. Oh, here's a new song I just wrote. Play
Yeah.
fiddle. Yeah.
Do you guys ever write songs together?
No, we actually don't
Well,
that
we,
often.
we do, but it's not a regular thing.
Yeah, it's
No.
more of like he'll be playing, when I'm home, at my parents' house, he'll be playing a song, and then I'll just shout out, oh, this lyric maybe would work better, or maybe,
Or a chord,
maybe this chord would sound better. So it's just totally organic, often over the course of several days without even trying. So we've done that a few times. We've never really sat down and been like, let's write a song together. Typically it's either, songs that...
Well, our styles are quite a bit different.
Our songwriting styles are very different.
It's just,
so
yeah.
He has his own way of doing things and likes to write a lot of songs by himself, and then I come in with the accompaniment, usually on an instrument.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I even ask to sing some of the songs he wrote because I feel like it maybe suits me a little bit better. But yeah, it's actually, that's one thing we don't necessarily collaborate on a lot, is the actual songwriting. Most of the songs that we do as Son of John are songs that Dad has written.
Cool.
But we have a couple that are considered co-writes, but it was mostly just through that, like, hey, what about this? What about, just passing each other in the hallway or whatever. So
right. How do you find that stylistically your songs kind of differ?
Oh yeah.
Mine, I think, would be a lot more contemporary, just with contemporary influences. More of like, I don't know. There's a whole culture of country music songwriting, I guess, that happens where there's, certain ways to do it. Co-writing with people or just kind of a formula sometimes. And I listen to a lot of contemporary music, so I feel like my style is a lot more like that, whereas yours is based on his own influences from a different generation usually.
Storytelling, I think more.
He's very much more
of a
storyteller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that in your songs.
Yeah. So.
Do you find that doing music together has kind of changed or affected the way that you understand each other?
Well, we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like I have two brothers, and this is the one thing that I have with my dad that I have that they don't necessarily do. My other brother's a songwriter and musician too. So, but actually forming a duo together as father and son has been. It's been pretty cool. I mean, we now have a physical vinyl album together that I can, show my kids someday or whatever. Hey, look, this is me and my dad when we played music together. And I mean, tons of hours on the road, tons of hours in the studio, tons of hours in hotel rooms. So, and usually just the two of us. So it's been really, really cool, at least for me. And, I mean, I've learned most of what I've learned from songwriting and stuff, from Dad for the most part.
Probably listened to me a lot when they were young. And
just listening.
Got tired of me probably.
He was always has a guitar in his hand growing up, singing songs and usually his original songs. And I don't know, must have caught a bug somewhere down the line because it's inspired me to want to do music as well. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
We're at a point now where we don't really, like if we're playing, we don't really have to even think about too much. And he knows where I'm going and I'll figure out where he's going sometimes, but he usually stays on track.
At this point, it's pretty intuitive. I always got to follow,
Yeah.
We played together as a duo really well, often, just because I know his rhythms and his, if I know when he's improvising, so I have to just follow along. But
it's been good. Yeah, I must say, it's a privilege to play music for anybody and for anyone that listens to us. We really appreciate them listening to us, and that's really important as you kind of go out there.
Totally. Yeah, well, it's a very unique relationship that you two have as bandmates. It's a special thing.
Yeah, I think we're pretty lucky to be able to do it together. I had lots of people come up to me and be like, "Oh, I wish I could do something like that with my dad." So I feel.
And we're lucky to meet people like you, and like you never know where you come across meeting musicians, and to do a project with you and now another project is pretty special.
Totally.
And all the other people involved, like you meet recording, the people that on the cameras and the people that run the sound and like these fellas here, that have worked with us today. Very, very special.
Yeah.
It's one thing about being in Nelson too, right?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Totally. That's been one of the highlights of this project. Part of the inspiration for the project, but also the highlight. Yeah, the connections just don't stop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's true. Next time we see each other on the street, we're gonna say hi,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
It's a connection of, yeah.
Yeah. So, Javen, you live part-time down in Nashville, hey?
Yeah, I wouldn't say necessarily live down
Go
there,
down
but
often.
I try to go down as often as I can. I guess last calendar year I did. Probably last year I spent cumulatively maybe 4 months
Okay.
down there.
Sweet. When did you start doing that?
I started in like 2022. Kind of was my first time.
Okay.
I had a lot of like we're involved with the British Columbia Country Music Association,
Okay,
which
cool.
is it's a provincial organization that's supposed to foster and promote country music in British Columbia, not just country but roots and Americana and Canadiana and alternative country, stuff like that, folk. So we've been involved with that, and through that I've gotten to know a ton of people in like the country music sphere of the province, and then also nationally. And so I started getting to know lots of people that were making trips down there, just to kind of like it's called Music City because it's it's the place where if you ever go to listen to the radio, and if you're a fan of country music, some people are, some people aren't, but if you're a fan and you listen to a song on the radio on a country music station, 95% of those songs are written in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the whole culture of like collaborating to write a song together in a very specific way so it does well on the radio, or there's a whole, like, you can go down to Nashville and go to a bank and list your occupation as a songwriter and they're not going to bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because that's kind of an infrastructure that's down there. So I kind of learned about that through the BCCMAs, and then started making lots of friends that were down there. And then so I started was very curious about it, and learned that there's such thing as being a professional songwriter. So kind of once I figured that out, I started making some trips, and I made about 5 trips last year, and then started working on getting like a work visa so I could maybe start playing shows down there if I wanted to. So that's kind of where I'm at now, is I do have a work visa so I can go down and play shows for money and not have to worry about breaking any rules.
And ironically, all the 3 songs we did on your show are all kind of Nashville related. So
Totally.
I'm not sure how
It was
that-
not intentional.
It wasn't
but-
intentional. So we just thought it'd be a great
Yeah.
song for you to sing on, and then
Well,
the other.
you actually wrote that song on a trip.
Yeah.
back from Nashville.
I did. Yeah.
That's what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, in the airport. Yeah.
Yeah, we had gone down for Americana Fest, which is a
Yeah.
really cool conference. But
Yeah.
so I don't live down there full time, but
That was a long ride.
I know.
That was a
I know.
No,
My
that's
turn to
great.
ramble. Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. to
But it's just,
learn.
it's a songwriter. Everybody in that town is super creative, and it's a song. There's a whole songwriting infrastructure, and you kind of own your skills and kind of get better as a musician. And I mean, and the musicians down there are insane too. So getting a chance to up my fiddle playing game and stuff like that is one of the reasons. But yeah, right now I do go back and forth. Yeah.
It's interesting, like Nashville, everything you just said, of course, it's known as like one of the most musical places. But I feel like probably a lot of people don't get to say that their little hometown is also a very musical town.
Yeah.
So it's nice that you can be a professional musician in both those places.
Yeah,
right?
I've thought about the parallels between Nelson and Nashville a lot. Like even just like,
It is really
it honestly really is.
Nelson
Nelson maybe not so much country music orientated, but I do think there is a swell, an underground country
Oh, there is because
country music swell. But
yeah.
we have like one time I was in Nashville, I hung out with Anna Katerina, right, who's
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Nelson here too, and we happened to be down there at the same time. So it's just having those local connections.
And she has a connection with this church. I don't know if that's okay saying, but her grandmother,
cool.
grandmother comes here. So
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah, so
Yeah.
we sang Christmas carols together. Christmas.
That's sweet. What is it about country music that inspires you both so much? What is it that you love about it?
Well, as a kid, I wasn't really big into the country, but as I got older, I just realized there's such a uniqueness to and country music, and I don't know, it was very, very, very real. Yeah,
Kind
I
of
mean, I was more
older-
into I was very into Blue Rodeo when I was,
Yeah.
when I first kind of started in the early 90s, and they were just kind of coming together too. And so that kind of country was more my but then as I got older, the old country I really gravitated to because it was just so authentic and real, So
I think it's the storytelling.
and the storytelling
part of
too,
it, like-
yeah, for me especially.
Sometimes country music gets a little bit of a bad rap, especially in certain eras. But
Yeah.
if you listen to the lyrics of some really, good
Yeah.
country songs, it's some really beautiful storytelling, and I think
Yeah.
that's part of the genre that people do tend to gravitate towards. And there's such a musicianship around it because a lot of it is based off of like real instruments.
But it's kind of like, like when you were young, I'm not just speaking in general maybe, but Johnny Cash was like, well, he was not really anything I would ever listen to. But then as I got older, there was this, all of a sudden he became big again, It was like, it was the producer Ruben, the big producer, Rick Rubin that brought him out, and so all of a sudden everybody was into country again. It's like, well, that's because it's real. And if you listen to Johnny Cash sing those songs, you go, holy cow, this is the real thing. And
Totally.
There is that part of which I really, really like. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the main thing I appreciate about it too.
Yeah.
And especially in a day and age now where it feels like we're getting further and further from like a real physical kind of raw music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's country music for me, is if someone pouring their soul out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, I think.
And all music, like you hear some blues singer or something, and she's singing, and you go, wow, there's something there, there's something that's like this church, big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got one last question for you both, and that is just what you might be working on right now, if you have any upcoming projects going on.
Yeah, well, we have a new song coming out. Not sure on the release date yet. I'm not sure when this is coming out either. So it might be out now. It might not be yet, but it's our song "Big Country Star" is our next single that's going to be coming out. All the streaming platforms, and whatnot, wherever you listen to music, and hopefully a music video to accompany that. And then 2026, we're hoping to get into the studio again.
We're hoping to get a grant, and we don't know for sure if we get it or not.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, you didn't have to say that.
Why not?
Well, you could, I guess. We're hoping to get back in the studio, and then yeah, just trying to see what comes our way for the summer as far as shows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, well, thanks so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks so much for having us. Really appreciate it. Everybody's work that goes into this, and it's been a real pleasure being here.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Anytime.